Okay, hi guys. Long time no see. Just kidding. It's only been like 4 weeks. But if you have been subscribed to me for a little while, then you know I had like 30 something videos up and now I only have like 3. But I took them down because I got a ton of new subscribers, like 100 more or something, and I really wanted to put like cool stuff on this channel. And so I was gonna film like a day in the life of, but then I started doing it and I was like, oh my gosh, I look so bad, and I was getting so self-conscious and I wasn't willing to like put up anything forever. And then I was like, okay, I should post whatever I want. And then I mean, somebody out there has to want this. Like, at least Morgan's watching this. So, yeah, if you don't like it and you kind of expected only K-pop content, because that's what I've been like advertising or whatever, and by advertising I mean literally I go on my Instagram and DM people like promo for my account until Instagram makes me stop and they're like, think I'm a spam bot. But if you see this video and you're like, yeah, this isn't my cup of tea, that's fine. Like, you can go. I totally get it. I wish you the best. It's okay, don't feel bad, don't feel like you have to subscribe. But if you're still here based off the title below, there's one thing you should probably know about me, and it's that I love writing. Writing is my thing. Writing has always been my thing. I have this journal, and this journal, I've literally had it I think for 3 years now. It says it, I think I started in 2017, and I've literally been writing in it for 3 years. And sometimes I'll leave it for like a month, sorry, if I'm busy with school and stuff, but I'm literally always like writing if I can. And if you know me at all, you know I'm writing like, I write really long stories, like unnecessarily long. And okay, this one I'm working on right now I think is 60 pages, but I'm like editing it a ton. And so I decided, even though I'm not like an established author or I haven't published any work yet, maybe I could give you guys some advice about writing if you're into writing. Or if you're not into writing, maybe you're just curious about the process because you like reading. Or if you're not into reading, why are you watching this video? No, I'm just kidding. You're probably still curious. I don't know, I'm curious about how people like skateboard and stuff, and I will never skateboard. So I don't know, do you guys ever do that? Like, you watch tutorials for things like baking tutorials and stuff? My mom literally always does this. She watches like Rachel Ray like baking or whatever, like legit watches it. Like, I can't watch the TV because she's watching it, and she will never bake that stuff. But my mom makes really good food, so I shouldn't complain. Also, I was wearing a way nicer sweater today, but my brother got jalapeno juice in his eye and he like freaked out in the kitchen. I was freaking out because he was like, oh my god, it hurts, it's not getting any better. And so I put milk in a bowl and he was literally like plunging his face in it. He's fine now, but anyways, the shirt got ruined because milk got all over it because he was like putting his face in, taking it out, and I was like trying to help him. By the way, if you get jalapeno in your eye, you're supposed to lean back, soak cotton balls in milk, and place those over your eyes. And you should alternate them. Also, make sure your hands are clean of the jalapeno. I know you're going to be tempted to keep rubbing, but scrub. What is this video? Okay, I need to stop. But scrub your hands, just saying. Like, scrub them, make sure there's 0 jalapeno juice, because my brother did have jalapeno juice on there still, and then he kept rubbing it, and that made it worse. So, you're welcome. Anyways, back to writing. So I have always been really into writing. Ever since I was a kid, I wrote this story in 2nd grade, and I was like so excited to write it because like the teachers would like laminate the cover and everything, and then you would write the words, but like you're in 2nd grade, so it doesn't make much sense, so the teachers like help you come up with better sentences. So like we would write the stories, and then our parents would come in. This is not the first story I wrote, but this is like one of them. Like, school really encouraged us to do it. So my mom came in, and I used my mom's name in the story, and so I had to like read it out loud, and I was so hyped about that. I was like smiling really big. My mom was like really happy, but all the other moms were confused. They were like, why is she smiling like that? But I was like, ah, mom. First story I wrote was about a zookeeper, and then she was like being chased by skeletons, I think. And then I think they corner her in a cave, and that's where the story ends, which is kind of morbid. My mom always encouraged me to write when I was really young because, I don't know, like sometimes there are those parents that think like everything you do is really special, and she was one of those parents when I was really young. So I like to write a lot. And also, my grandmother likes to write stories. My mom likes to write stories. My cousin likes to write stories. So I think it's like kind of like I inherited it, but that doesn't mean I started being good at it by any means. In middle school, I got this idea for a really complex story, and I didn't know how to use quotation marks, didn't really understand sentence structure that well. So I wrote on this notebook, and I think I have my copy from high school. I would literally be sitting in class and I would just write this story. And I did that, and then I learned what quotation marks were, and then I would like scrap the entire story and then write it again on the notebook. And then I just kept doing that, especially sophomore year of high school. My French teacher would get so mad at me, like so angry. Her face would turn totally red, and she would be like she wouldn't yell, but she was just a weird teacher. Sorry if you're watching this, madame, but yeah, I was like really into just writing. Like that's the only thing that I liked doing. I didn't like any subjects in school, and no, I'm not an English major. If all jobs made the same amount of money, I would probably be an English teacher, or like major in English and just be an author, but obviously I don't make that much money, and I do like engineering a lot. I think the first time somebody read my work, I finished this story called The Final War. It's honestly not a good story, because once I learned what quotation marks were, that was it. Like the whole story was dialogue. It looked like a screenplay. I finished it and I sent it to like literally everyone I knew. But Evelea was like the only one who read it, because we like traded stories. She published hers, by the way. You should totally read it. I'll link her YouTube below and her Instagram. It's probably somewhere. DM her, ask her for it. I'm sure she'll give it. But yeah, hers is really good. I really like it. She did like Amazon publishing, which maybe I'll do someday if I actually finish work that I'm proud of one day, hopefully. So we swapped stories, and then she read most of mine and I read most of hers, and then we would like critique each other, which is super important. Like if you're into writing, find somebody else who's into writing, swap work, and then like promise that you're not going to sugarcoat everything, because like me and Evelea are both really nice people, but we were still able to like critique each other's work without it being like, oh, not to like hurt your feelings or anything, but it does take like a while to get into a rhythm of it. Because I mean, it's pretty awkward at first, like, oh hey, read this thing that I worked super hard on and break my heart about it. Because dude, in your first draft, nobody's first draft is perfect. Like there's probably exceptions to those rules, but the rule is that nobody's first draft is perfect. You know what I'm saying? So don't be discouraged if you write something and then you realize that it's not really that great, because that's why it's the first draft. That's why there's more than just one draft. Well, I believe was the first person to like read it. And then I got to college, and in college I really wanted to keep writing, even though engineering is like a tough major. But I took mostly gen eds. No, I didn't, but I still found time to do it because there were still like 100 and 200 level classes. So I had Morgan read The Final War story, and it was like one day she just laid in my bed and she read the whole thing, and she came down, and this is my first time taking criticism. Guys, I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. Oh my gosh, my ears were like totally red. When I get embarrassed, they're just red, and my face was red, and I had a hoodie on and I just kept burying my face in it because I was so humiliated. But I've come a long way since then. Sometimes when Morgan calls me to go through my stories, like the other day, I'll still get like really embarrassed, but I've come a long way, because I would literally have to like take a break, go sit in the hallway. Morgan was like, I like Morgan's editing style, because there's some people when they edit and you can see that like when they're trying to help you, they're kind of inserting their own voice, which is fine. Like that makes sense. Like I probably do that to some people too, because like it's hard to be authentic to another author's voice. But like when she does it, it's more like she's like echoing your ideas but in a clearer way, which that metaphor doesn't make sense. Don't listen to me, I'm obviously horrible at English. No, I'm just kidding. But she does it in this way where it's like you talk it through, you have a conversation. I'm such a better writer because of Morgan. Like if you are a writer, find that friend who likes to read, find somebody who likes your work, like find somebody who genuinely likes your writing, your voice, and find somebody who doesn't sugarcoat everything. Because Morgan, like most of the time, she's just straightforward, honest about it. like literally every time she's straightforward and honest about it. But then when she likes something, oh my gosh, I get so happy because I know it's good. Like I know in my heart that it's good, because Morgan would never like front and be like, oh yeah, this is so great, release it to the public, and then I release like straight trash. So I'm really lucky because like one of my closest friends is also somebody who likes my work and is also somebody who goes through all of the pages of my work. We've talked about so many stories. Like, dude, when I'm an author, for sure she's staying my editor, and I will give her credit in all the books because there's no way I could write it without her. Like, I don't think you guys understand how lucky I am to have a bestie that is an editor for my work. Like, that's so important. So find that if you can. If you're lucky enough, find that. Also, find writer friends because they encourage you. Like Evelea and I, the fact that we were both writing really encouraged me. Like, find other people who like writing, especially like writing the types of stories that you do, because then they'll probably be interested in reading it. Okay, also, another tip would be know your characters, okay? Know them like they're your friends. Know them like they're that celebrity that you really like. Vernon. But know them so well. Like, know them like they're real people. I write my characters first and then I write a story, because if you write the story first and then the characters, it's gonna be so hard for readers to be interested, because when you craft those characters, like, it doesn't matter what world they're in. If your characters aren't interesting, if I don't care about the people or aliens or whatever you write that I'm supposed to resonate with, why would I want to read that story? Like, cool world and all, but if your characters aren't cool, if there can't be AUs and fanfics about them, I'm sorry. That's just gonna be a lame story. Like, I write my characters first, and by, like, what I mean by this is, like, I just write. Okay, that was a stupid explanation, but I think some of you know what I mean. If you're writers, like, I just write. Like, I take any scenario, any world, any, like, you can pick a world that already exists that you like. So, like, for example, if you like To All the Boys I've Loved Before, you could literally take that plot and apply it to characters and get to know them better. Like, the more you write about them, the more you get to know them. I don't even know if that makes sense, but it will if it doesn't, because if I ask you what your character's favorite color is and you don't know, what the neck? Because, like, you don't have to mention it in the story. Like, you do not have to mention every single little detail about your character in the story, but you should know them well enough that you would know what type of person they would be. Because, like, for example, that's how, like, fanfics are born. Like, a lot of the facts that come from it about the characters are just, like, what the readers derive because they've created this character, like, in their brain. So when you write it, you should already know favorite color, what hand do they write with, like, what would they do in this situation or that situation, because that's what helps make it more authentic. So that's the most important thing. Like, also, don't write for fame or for money, because very few of us are going to be successful in, like, that sense where we're like J.K. Rowling. You should write because you love it. Like, you should write because there's nothing else that you'd rather be doing. Like, I really love writing. Like, that's the way I relieve stress. That's what I do in my free time. My mom's yelling. Not at me, but my grandma can't hear. It's actually really funny because, like, my mom will have to, like, yell on the phone. I'll be like, hi, mama. She'll be like, what? And that's probably off topic, so let me get back on topic. Well, try to stay committed to one story at a time. If you keep finding interest in other stories and other worlds, like, you're never gonna finish anything. So yeah, I'm a total hypocrite though, because I rarely do that. If you can, if you're good at it, like good enough at doing this that you, let me talk. If you can do this, write an outline. Like, I'm the worst at writing outlines because I'll write one and I'll look back at it and I'll be like, what does this mean? What am I saying here? I don't understand. But if you write a clear and cohesive and, like, logical outline, you can give it to your editor, in my case Morgan, and then she can read it. I don't do that though because I stink at writing outlines. I should get better at it because it's a time saver. Like, if you actually have to write out the whole chapter, like, you waste time, dude. You waste time. So that's, like, it's literally, if you follow any writing page on Instagram, that's what they'll tell you, and that's literally, I can't do it. But yeah, also when you're writing your characters, like you can write them as like flawed people, because I feel like a lot of the times people think that characters have to be like black and not black and white, but like good or bad. And I mean, no, because like people aren't good or bad. Like I feel like you want a relatable character even if your story isn't relatable, because for a lot of like fantasy stories or wizard stories or anything like that, like we can't relate to that world, but that's why the characters are so important. We should be able to relate to them. So yeah, also if you get writer's block, it's normal. Like there are so many times when I'm just like not into writing anymore because I've done it so much, or like I'm so tired, or I don't know, but there'll be like week-long periods where I'm just like, I can't write. I guess I'm not a writer anymore. Just can't do it. And I'll literally be like, Morgan, would we still like be homies if I wasn't a writer? Because I think I'm done. I think I'm done with it. And then I'm never done with it. Like I still love writing. I just need a break sometimes. So it's normal. Like you don't have to give up something completely just because you don't think you're producing something good or something worth reading. And I feel like that's another big thing. Like a lot of the time you stop writing because you're like, okay, nobody wants to read this, but you want to write it, homie. If you want to write it, you should write it. Like don't focus on what the world wants to read. Don't focus on like making the type of story that you think others want. Like write the story that you want. Write the story that's been in your little brain all along, because I feel like that's the most authentic way to do it. If you do it any other way, then it's like, okay, so you're doing this for clout. If you guys want me to do like where I read my old writing or something, I think I got a comment, because I've made this video before but I deleted it because I didn't know how to edit back then. But if you guys want me to react to my old writing, there's this story I have called The Wolf Story, and I started editing some of it, but it is awful. It is the worst story I've ever written. Morgan read it. It's actually so funny. So I messaged Morgan and I was like, dude, this is it. Like I was so confident. I was like, this is legit, like gold. Like go ahead, take it. I don't know if you're gonna have any edits to make. This is the best thing I've ever written. And I believed it in my soul, in my heart of hearts. And so she gets it and then she reads it, and she legit thought it was like joking around about it being amazing because it was straight trash. And when we started going through it, like both of us just burst out laughing because I did not realize how bad it was. That's why you need an editor to stop you from posting things that are very bad. So if you guys want, you can totally react to my horrible work or my mediocre work, or on rare occasions my good work. So yeah, but I think the main thing that got me to start writing was I was like really lonely in middle school and high school, especially sophomore year, and like writing characters made it feel like I had friends, which sounds sad, but I promise, like I have friends now, and like I had friends at the time, but not that I could talk to things about. And I feel like that's what stories do for people. Like writing or reading, like you feel like somebody's there, like somebody's listening. And I don't know, you should never not do that just because you don't think others are going to enjoy it. If you enjoy something and it's not hurting anybody else, you should do it. Whether it's writing, whether it's baking, whether it's painting, these are great examples. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I love writing, so yeah, let me know what you people want, because I don't know what to post next at all. Should I do a day in the life? I look ugly in the morning, so I don't know if you guys want that, but let me know. Okay, peace out, Dab Stars. Love you.